All right, good morning, everyone. Hope you all are having a beautiful and wonderful Saturday morning. Let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. So, we are getting the follow through as a move up. Um, I would first target that 65,184 area on the daily, so possibly getting a rejection off of the 50 MA up there. Let's take a look at the 12 hour. So, the 12 hour around about the 100 MA on the 12 hours. So, you kind of got 2 points of confluence there on the daily and the 12 hour that we could possibly be getting rejected off of. Let's take a look at the 8 hour. So, the 8 hour, let's see. Yeah, so I mean, I think last night I was mentioning 65K area, so that's, right around here. We could get a little bit higher. I do expect us to consolidate though once we get there, or, maybe drop a little bit of a dip there. But so far it looks like that's kind of where our target is, which would technically be taking out this double top right here. So anybody that was short, obviously a lot of people put their stop losses above here. This looks like it's going for them right now. That people that tried to short, what they thought was cat ears up here, but it's not. So anyways, you can look and see on the 4 hour that we kind of had a bullish flaggish pattern that is playing out right now. And we'll take a look and see what the measured move is for it as well. So kind of something like this. And then if you were to take the measured move of it right here, move that up, 64,839. So about 64,9-ish area, it looks like. The 1 hour, you could see that flag drawn out even more. So definitely in a very bullish flag pattern. I wasn't sure last night whether or not it would be breaking down because it did kind of look like or resemble Head and Shoulders last night. I think it was around here. Um, and there was a possibility that we could, potentially fill this gap right here. And I'll draw it out for you here. So there's like a nice, I would say right about here. There's a nice gap right here, right? So we're gonna have to watch this area closely, I would say. Um, we bounced off of the top of it practically right here, but it ends. Where is it in? It ends around 63,265, I believe. So definitely something to keep look out for if we do get rejected at around 65K area. We may have to come back to this order block right here and see what we're gonna do. I would even expect potentially. I don't know if there's a 786 bounce in here, but there definitely well could be. Yeah, so your 786 bounce aligns with that 63,265, and I think I might have identified that last night as well. So I would definitely have, on the to the downside that 63,265 area. Um, even 63 600 would be another area. What we want to see, guys, for the remainder of the week is this could be a compression candle, but we want to see it close green, right? And in order for it to close green, we're going to have to stay above 63,602. If we drop below it and we can't get back above it, it's going to close kind of like a, let's take a look at the weekly here. We'd basically, um, yeah, 63,602 was the open, so we would basically be getting some sort of a little bit of a bearish doji in a ways, with wicks on both sides. So just kind of keep that in mind. I definitely think that that's a possibility. I don't want to see that, right? I want to see us, have a nice um, bullish candle to close. So ideally, we get up to that 65K area and then we just consolidate. But again, it's going to really depend on what the charts want to do, right? So let's see. Let's go back to the 15. Yeah, so you can see that flag was really well drawn out overnight. And we got some of that move to the upside. It looks like it's struggling a little bit right now, but it's a Saturday, it's low volume. It may take some time for it to get some good, decent follow through. So I would say keep an eye out on the 15 and keep an eye out on the 4 hour. And definitely, I'm probably gonna put. Let me see where that daily is. So I'm gonna probably put this on my chart here. So 65, 186 area. I'm going to keep on there, and you can see, you might want to put that on there as well. That would be my first kind of target, would be around 65, a little over one or 65. So 65, 186 is what I have down. Um, but I would definitely have that up there, and then I would have 63, 265 down here, just in case that we get that drop down. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at liquidity. So taking a look at liquidity, let me go to my 4-hour here. All right. Taking a look at liquidity, you can see, let's see here. It looks like we have some up to 66,000 now, that nice red area. I don't remember if that was there last night, but there's definitely a possibility that we come and take and even go above what my expectation is and take that out. And honestly, let me see where the 6-hour 200 MA is because we passed the 4-hour. So 6 hour is about 65, 280, 298. So that kind of aligns with the 100 MA on the 12-hour and the 50 MA on the daily. Definitely could see, us getting rejected there and having to consolidate more. So yeah, everything lines up right now, guys. If we were to continue our move up, that we would get, rejected off of there for right now and then have to consolidate or come back down. Um, but yeah, I think that overall this would be, a prime target on the 4-hour eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get there. Could even take until next week, but this definitely looks like a possibility, coming up soon within the following week here. Um, the 1 hour. So let's take a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour definitely shows that area 63.5, which is a little bit above my 63 to 60-ish area, 63.3 area that I'm targeting, but you can see how much liquidity there is down here. So there is a possibility, I don't know if this is a bearish 786, but there is a possibility that we do get a drop right now. And if you look at that, I mean, that's a perfect bearish 786 setup. So there's a possibility that we get a move down to 63 over the weekend potentially if this truly is a bearish 786 and there's no follow through. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I actually have a long limit entry around 63.5 that I'm going to be playing out if we can get down there. So that's kind of the only trade I have open right now. Other than that, I'm just kind of watching, staying out of the market because it is very low volume and it's a weekend. So that's the only order I have for right now. And then the 15-minute, kind of painting that same picture. Unfortunately, if we were to drop down to here, now we're losing that 200 MA. So it did come up more into price action, which is fine. But, just keep in mind that we're probably going to have to look at 30-minute or the 1 hour to possibly get a bounce off of the 200. Okay, looking at Kiyotaka, our order book here, you can take a look and see that you have a bunch of orders to the downside, that which is implying that, you could take out 63.3, 63.5 areas. So I definitely think that there's a possibility that we drop into this before, pursuing or moving our way back up, right? It does seem like there are a lot more orders down here, so it's giving the idea that we could possibly take this out first. Nothing is guaranteed though, obviously, but that's just what I'm seeing as far as the charts go and as far as Kiyotaka goes, our order book. So definitely, if you guys are looking to long, just be cautious today. Not financial advice, but I would possibly be looking for a little bit more of a dip before I just went in for a long here. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for our order book and for our liquidity heat map. Let's finally go to the simple map here. Well, I can actually go to this tab and refresh the page. So on our simple map, you can see our scalping time frame. We have more 100x right below us, and that drives us down to 63.5, yeah, 63.5-ish area. So you can really see how we could possibly take out most of this 100x. And if we do that, it's leading us to about 63.450. So it really kind of gives you the idea that there's a decent chance, even though there's not a lot of orders, but there's a decent chance that we take this out first since there's more orders that are 100x right next to us. Um, let's see. And then, of course, to the upside, you do have some 100x orders and you have some 50x, but just not, in my opinion, it's not enough for a bridge to get you up to 65 just yet. It's probably a good chance that we're going to come back down, try to invoke more shorts to get some more liquidity up here to build up. So smaller time frames suggest that we're going to drop just a little bit, not by much, about $1,000 or so, nothing major. And then the bigger swing time frames, so your 4-hour and your daily. So let's me really zoom in here. I mean, you can see how low volume this is there, for a weekend. And it's been low volume, honestly, for the most part, the past few weeks. We've been seeing the same amount of volume, even less than a half a million in longs and shorts until you get up to, here, which there's a lot more shorts. So this is suggesting that, honestly, this more suggests that we would go to the upside. Let me try to really zoom in more. This is difficult because usually you see a lot more volume, and this is summer volume for you, right? So, yeah, I mean, definitely, there's a little bit more volume to the upside than to the downside, but um, on the smaller time frames, we do have more orders to the downside. So I would say that, probably there's a decent chance we take some of this out to the downside. Not sure how much, but we could easily kind of just roll our way down here potentially and then move our way back up. Since there are very few orders here, there's not a lot of there's just basically a gap to get to here. So we could fall through this gap because you have to consider this more of like a visual range volume profile where you can just kind of fall through gaps. So you could either go either way here, but I'm seeing more so, because there's such low amount of volume, we could just kind of fall through here up to this point and then kind of test this area and see what we're going to do before moving back up. So anyways, guys, on the meso timeframes, I'm going to stay bullish on that, and on that time frame or in those time frames until we lose that 4-hour 200 MA. Once we lose the 4-hour 200 MA, that's when you have to start being, bearish on those time frames. As long as we can keep it, we have to assume that we're going to keep going up, okay? And then, as far as our micro time frames, it does show, in my opinion, that we're going to get a slight drop as well. And then on your daily and your weekly, the only thing to look out for would be resistance against that 50 MA on the daily. So I'm more so kind of neutral on that time frame, but I would say that for right now, at least until we can take out some of these orders, I have to lean a little bit bearish on the meso and the micro time frames. So anyways, guys, that is what I have for you for today. I will talk to you all later, and I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Take care.